Hello everyone, Matthew Holman here, and today we're going to be taking a look at 7 murderers who are still free and being sought by the FBI. These individuals are all considered to be extremely armed and dangerous, as they do not mess around. Currently, there are actually quite a few wanted individuals on the FBI's most wanted list, and I chose 7 of the most interesting and significant criminal profiles to discuss. Before we get into this, please like and subscribe for more content. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. Number 7. Marco Garay. The first killer that I want to discuss is known only as Marco Antonio Garay. For both unlawful flight to avoid prosecution and murder. He's a Hispanic 6-foot male with brown eyes, and he has full sleeve tattoos on both of his arms. One of the tattoos on his forearm simply reads Matthew, which is my name, so that's really weird. Mr. Garay is currently 32 years old, and once upon a time was a sandwich shop worker at Subway and construction laborer. Mr. Garay has been arrested quite a few times before in his life, and his criminal record is nothing new. But the incident that got him on the FBI's most wanted list recently happened on January 20th, 2019. Garay allegedly shot a man after a verbal and physical altercation between numerous attendees of a party taking place at a residence in Bellflower, California. Later that day, Mr. Garay actually fled the scene by taking an unlawful flight out of the state. Marco is known for being super unpredictable and violent and is to be avoided at all costs as he is armed and dangerous. If you see this man, you must report him to the LAPD immediately. Number 6. Richard Charles Sanchez. Richard Sanchez, also known as Lil Rat, is a man who's been charged with both murder and unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, as well as attempted murder in the first degree, conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree, unlawful possession of a firearm in the first degree, murder in the second degree, and tons more charges. Sanchez is among one of the most dangerous individuals on the FBI's most wanted list, and he is considered heavily armed and extremely dangerous. Do not confront. Mr. Sanchez has quite a criminal background, though the thing he's most wanted for actually took place in 2010. Mr. Sanchez, for whatever reason, fired a bunch of rounds of live ammunition into the windshield of a teenager's car, killing the 20-year-old woman driver instantly and severely injuring the other passenger, who was the driver's brother. As of 2017, Sanchez has an official warrant for his arrest. Number 5. Derek Dominiquez. Derek Dominiquez is a bad man, and his FBI flyer proves it. Mr. Dominiquez has numerous tattoos, including devil horns on his head, the letters VN on the back of his head, lips on his left neck, the word Dominiquez on his upper chest, and sleeves of tattoos on both arms. He's also a dangerous man that should definitely be considered a volatile felon, prone to give in to violence any minute. He's wanted for numerous crimes, but the one that got him on this list is for something that happened in 2017 at a fast food restaurant. See, while out with his wife and kids, you know, the people you're supposed to protect, Mr. Dominiquez made challenging eye contact with another man who was at the fast food restaurant, so they both went outside, argued for a little bit, and when the victim tried to just go away and drive away and get away from the situation, Mr. Dominiquez fired multiple rounds into his car, killing him instantly, before he then fled the scene and possibly took a flight to flee the state. Derek killed that man for no reason. The argument they had was nonsensical and pointless. So yeah, you really should consider this man as extremely dangerous. And if you see him, report him to the LAPD immediately. Number 4. Manuel Galvin. This killer is a bit more mysterious and strange than the others. See, Mr. Galvin is wanted for the 2005 murder of a 14-year-old boy in California. Little information is known about this incident, but allegedly, Mr. Galvin randomly drove up to the boy, started an altercation with him before then shooting him in the head multiple times, killing him, before he then fled the scene and potentially flew out of the state to avoid prosecution. It's believed he's currently living in Mexico right now, meaning the United States can't really do anything about his crimes. Mr. Galvin has a plethora of disguises and identities he uses to avoid detection from police, and he should be considered extremely armed and dangerous, so avoid this guy at all costs, and if you do see him, as always, contact Los Angeles' FBI field office. Number 3. Karisayala Ayala. Karisayala Ayala has one of the most serious charges you can even have on a rap sheet. felony cruelty to a child. See, in 2012, Miss Ayala was a babysitter in Georgia who liked to babysit to make some extra cash. She began babysitting a 5-month-old boy around that time that she would secretly abuse behind closed doors. However, one day, she called to report that he was completely unresponsive. At first, paramedics thought this was just an accidental death or a health-related issue, but it was quickly found that the little boy had very big hemorrhages on the top of his head, and he was clearly assaulted to death by the woman. A warrant went out for her arrest, and she was never seen again. She fled the scene, and they are still on the lam to this day. Ayala may have ties to El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico. She may be traveling with her husband, who is her partner in crime. She also has a daughter who may be with them as well. Number 2, Stanley Obaz. Stanley Obaz may be one of the worst people on this list. Stanley is a 5'10" Haitian male who only weighs about 130 pounds. He's wanted for the murder and sexual assault of a 13-year-old girl. On July 28, 1996, Stanley and a few of his friends followed the 13-year-old before they bludgeoned her, took her to a house, took her to the basement of the house, raped her, and then murdered her. Her body was dumped in a cemetery nearby where it was promptly discovered and reported to authorities. The other accomplices in this murder have been arrested, but the main suspect, Stanley, has not been arrested and is still on the lam to this day. He has not gone to any of his mandatory court dates, and he should be considered armed and extremely dangerous. Number 1, Hector Manuel Murcia. Definitely the most intimidating looking person on the FBI's most wanted list. Hector Manuel is wanted for a murder that took place in 2006. See, on July 1st, 2006, authorities discovered a dead Hispanic male laying underneath an overpass. When investigators looked at the body, they found there were a bunch of stab wounds on it, and they ruled the death as a homicide almost instantly. After doing research on the man, they discovered that his only ties were this guy. So this guy had a warrant set out for his arrest, and he fled the state in order to get away from prosecution, as per usual for this list. He currently is free and should be considered armed and dangerous. You know, he could be anywhere, and you might even secretly run into him one day without even realizing it. You never really know how far away you are from a murderer until you're told. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you did, and stay tuned for more.